Some big news, not necessarily unexpected news. Patrice Bergeron retiring today. And I remember after they went off the ice, Game 7 at home, was it Verhaeghe that scored the series winner? I think so.
Yes.
And Florida stormed back down 3-1. And Bergeron did kind of a curtain call, and it looked like he was kind of crying it off the ice, and he and his teammates were kind of going back and forth. But there seemed to be some sort of belief, and maybe it was just, Boston fans and media trying to will this into existence, that the way they ended the series, he couldn't possibly leave on that.
Right.
Right? Like, he couldn't retire now, but he did, and he's out. And I haven't seen any news on David Krejci, but Bergeron and Krejci have been the 1-2 there for, 15 years. Had a ton of success.
Oh, yeah.
And Bergeron was phenomenal this season.
That's what I mean.
And now he's gone.
Well, that's why you
that's
think.
A massive hole for the Bruins.
I know he missed 4 of the 7 playoff games with the herniated disc. So back problems, if you talk to guys who've had them, that can be a game changer in terms of your athletic mortality, right?
Right.
And so
he was always probably only coming back for 1 year. Like that last year, he was doing the dance back and forth. Might he retire? Might he not? And now he's out. And what does it mean for the Bruins? That is a big question. I think the other teams in the East, as much as they respect Bergeron, they love that he's gone.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's been owning them for a long, long time. And, there it is up on TSN 2, the 22-man roster, projected 22-man roster. If you got Bergeron out, Krejci out, you got Pavel Zacha as your first-line center, Charlie Coyle in your second line. All of a sudden, you have JVR there, Lucic there. It's a different-looking team.
Yeah.
Still good goalie, still really good defense.
Really good D.
Good coach, great wingers. They're still going to be a good team, but great team, that probably wasn't going to happen anyway.
Wow.
But now this really takes a hit. And to chat about it, we had down there now to Boston, former NHLer, former Leaf, and NESN analyst. Here's Andrew Raycroft. How did you respond to the news today, Andrew, that Bergeron was retiring?
Well, the timing was surprising. Certainly, we all saw how he left the Garden Ice in Game 7 against Florida, and I just heard you say the last dance, and that was the theme of the entire season right from day one. And there was a lot of talk right from day one of how special it was and people playing for Patrice, et cetera. So the outcome isn't quite as surprising as maybe the timing. The longer this went, I guess, everyone in Boston, the fans, the people that followed, wow, maybe he's coming back. And I guess now that it's official and it's final, that was actually false hope that we were all giving each other. But the timing of it, we kind of expected this to happen the start of June, not the end of July.
Is there any word on Krejci yet? And is it the widespread expectation that he's also done?
The wide expectation was he was done more so than Patrice. So yes, I think that's the expectation. Now, David's already left before, so he's already, he could be a guy who says, you know what, I'll come back at Christmas. I don't think for him the decision has to be as final or has to be made over the summer. I think he can let it linger a little bit more than Patrice, just because of the kind of person he is, but also just because he's left for a season already.
So, we posted a board up on TV here about what the projected opening day lineup looks like. And it, up the middle of the ice, that's got to be a concern, right? Like, they had a historically great regular season. We saw what happened in the playoffs. They were always going to take a step back. Like, in the age of parity, the Bruins, you're not going to run off 60-plus wins. That was never going to happen again. But now you take Bergeron out, possibly Krejci out. Like, how big of a step could this be, and how much concern is there in Boston?
I don't think the word concern yet. I think because you guys just said the goaltending, the defense. Charlie McAvoy, Hampus Lindholm. You have those two. David Pastrnak, a 60-goal scorer. Brad Marchand. So there's more than enough pieces, but I think it's more interest, very unsure. And how much has Patrice Bergeron? Like, I can't wait to go see a game and sit there and have one shift where I go, wow, Patrice was so good. The simplicity of his defense and how he made plays without being fancy or flashy with them. So that will be interesting. I think they're not rolling back 63 wins. That was never going to happen. I think the fact that they weren't able to reload with the salary cap hurts them as much as anyone else because they had such a discount from Krejci and Bergeron last season that they don't get a lot. They get essentially no relief from losing those two guys, where most every other team, if they lost their two best players, arguably, they would get a lot of cap relief. The Bruins didn't get that. So I think with the cap not only going up $1 million, that really affected them this summer in filling that hole in those holes. So certainly there's a lot of question mark up the middle. And can those players take an extra step and of course not fill Patrice's skates, but come close enough to win enough games 2-1 this season?